Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the Tradewaiters podcast, the comic book club where we read a different trade paperback every single week. I'm Daniel, you're Nathan. We're brothers, we read comics.
Yep.
You sitting like that like threw me off.
Comics of all shapes and sizes.
You don't normally sit like that.
I don't know how to...
Are you trying to look taller?
Well, I just like, you ever think about your posture and you're like, shit, my spine's at like a 50-degree angle right
dude, I
now.
have scoliosis. That's all I think about.
Your shit's shaped like an S.
Yeah, dude. If it's wrong, if my posture's wrong, my back hurts. That's all it is.
Oh, so your body tells you.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I have consistent reminders.
Dude, that's great. My body never tells me, so I just get tech neck all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's like stretches. There's like stretches to do to like prevent that.
I'm not doing a fucking stretch.
Why not? You want to have tech neck? You want that little like fucking dome on the back of your neck?
I kind of respect when people have that, honestly.
What? No, it looks awful.
It does look awful, but when they like embrace it and they're like still going out places and they're on their phone looking like a T-Rex or some shit.
It's basically like a barbell holder, dude.
Or like yeah, kind of.
No, dude. I never thought like the hunched over.
I'm like, that's a man. I want to know that man's rank in League of Legends.
Oh yeah, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's probably some sort of correlation of like the degrees of your spine to rank in like shitty video games.
Yeah, there's like probably a direct correlation.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like your phone and shit, and like everyone's on their phone.
Yeah, true.
People reading comics, Nathan.
Oh, true. What's the correlation
with that segue?
What's the correlation of bad spines to people reading comics? I've got to know.
Probably not that great, dude.
Yeah, probably not.
I need a good reading chair. Just like a lazy boy, basically, with like really high like armrests, so I can like hold it like that.
You just want a recliner,
basically, before reading.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. But anyway, then we got different time codes in our description. We got the book, which is Hellboy, the Crooked Man. We got Back Matter Matters. Oh man, way to bring that up.
Yeah.
Back Matter Matters in the poll list, but we start with the news. And we got some sad news.
Sad news. I was gonna start yelling and say big news, but let's go with the sad news up top.
Big RIPs today, Nathan.
Yeah, two of them at least. That's what I have at least.
The day that I thought would never come, but it did.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones died away at
the age of 93.
Passed away. Good.
I had no idea he was 93.
I knew he was old.
Like, I've always known that he was old even when he was like recording for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But like 93, I mean, I've never like thought about it because he looks like, anytime I see a picture of him, I'm like, what a happy old man.
Like, the only people that like are alive from Star Wars are the people that were young in Star Wars,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. Did you see the clips of the body actor who played Darth Vader? He just like did the lines. So
he thought it was gonna be his voice.
He thought that?
Yeah.
Oh no!
He didn't find out until he was watching the movie that it was somebody else.
It was just some Scottish guy or something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Luke, I'm your father. Yeah, that sucks. James Earl Jones, also Mufasa, also he was in Big Bang Theory. I saw just a clip of him being excited about being in Star Wars.
He's a dude from Sandlot. I think he's in Field of Dreams or something.
Yeah, tons of things.
Yeah, goated.
And that sucks. Darth Vader, and he was still doing it.
He was in Click, dude. He did like a voiceover thing.
Whoa.
Where like he had the remote and then he wanted to add like a narration. And it was James Earl Jones. He's like, is that James Earl Jones?
I think he's in a video game. That's like pretty famous, but I can't remember which one. A quick Google won't get me there, so I'm not going to look into it. But yeah, that is a bummer. So let's go into the next big old bummer as well. A comic book creator sadly passed away very young, not 93. I believe he was 52.
Yeah, he was like Dad's age.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like younger than Dad.
Terrible news, but it's John Cassaday that passed away this week as of recording. Lots of people, he's done lots of things, some Batman and stuff like that, but mostly known for, I would say, like Astonishing X-Men and Planetary.
Yeah.
And I know, as soon as I hear that name, I know from Astonishing X-Men. I didn't know he was on Planetary though.
Yeah, I've never read Planetary. Astonishing X-Men is excellent though.
And it's great. There's a lot of he's like such a titan for like really feeling out the new like modern era of comics. It seems like very cinematic. Like you would have like a lot of those wide panels and stuff. So I think he kind of pioneered a lot of that. Obviously, because he's working with Joss Whedon.
Yeah, great comics for like newbies. I think it's just like easy to like kind of grasp. There's very good like proportions and whatnot. He also was on Star Wars with Jason Aaron.
Oh, that's right. I read that too. Yeah, that shit's really good.
Yeah, so a huge
that
loss.
One sold like a billion copies.
I think it was 1 million copies.
Sorry, 1 million copies, not a billion. I think a million copies. And
Batman maybe sells 100,000.
I think like the most popular comics of like each month typically range around 300K. So that's kind of absurd that he is able to hit those numbers.
Yeah. So yeah, rest in peace to those legends.
Yeah, I just
be huge bummer.
I always like seeing the stuff that people post. Like some of the like crazy pages that he's done in like Astonishing X-Men or Captain America. There's been a bunch of those that people have been posting about.
My favorite one was from like X-Men, and it was like Kitty Pryde coming into a room, and like Wolverine's like on the floor with like a beer. And he's like obviously upset about something.
Oh, yeah,
and Kitty Pryde's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Are you a beer?" I was like, good panel.
I feel that. Yeah. There's this one of Cyclops taking off his visor and like going crazy, like totally like letting loose, and like the entire background of the panel is just red because it's like the perspective of you being in that blast. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
great covers too.
Great covers. Yeah, really, really inventive covers. So that is a bummer. Rest in peace, John Cassaday, Titan. Other news. What else we got?
Nathan. Beetlejuice.
I'm familiar with them. Them.
Yeah. Well, the writers of that movie, they're going to be adapting Ice Cream Man.
Ice Cream Man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, which would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think that could work really well.
We saw that movie this week, and that means, we'll talk about it. But
in the Polish.
Pretty good.
I think that could work.
I think it'll work, yeah.
Yeah. Spooky vibes.
Very spooky vibes. So I wonder how it will work, because Ice Cream Man's kind of an interesting, because it's like kind of anthology like, right?
Yeah.
But they
didn't specify it was a show or a movie.
I think they said movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I saw the artist.
I think they'd pull like a Trick or Treat kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
have like a through line.
But it's just all Ice Cream Man, like essentially.
Cream Man. That'd be cool.
And then just kind of all ending at the end.
Yeah. With like some weird Ice Cream Man shit.
Yeah.
Who'd be a good Ice Cream Man?
Jim Carrey.
And that's such a good idea, actually. Whoa,
like Jim Carrey now, that.
Yeah, like Jim Carrey could do a fucking freaky smile.
Right, yeah.
That's perfect, yeah. Well, you get that one for free. Tradewaiters recommendation.
Or maybe like, I feel like Tony Hale could work.
I don't know who that is.
He was in like Community.
Oh, okay, yeah. The blonde dude?
No, that's someone else. That's Joel McHale.
Okay. But are you thinking of Joel McHale or?
No, it is Tony Hale. Was that show with Jason Bateman?
With Jason Bateman?
Yeah.
Ozark?
No, like the comedy one.
Oh. Arrested Development?
Yeah, Arrested Development. He's in that.
Yeah. He's a nerdy looking milkman kind of guy, or ice cream man kind of looking guy.
No, dude. Okay. I got it.
You got it.
He might be a little old, but the dude who plays like Marty McFly's dad, I don't know his name, but he was in like...
You know who would be good?
Huh.
Not saying that yours is bad. I don't know who you're talking about. Remember the guy in Dexter, and he was like a nerdy like white dude kind of guy who's like a serial killer? It was like season like 6 or something.
You'd have to look it up.
Oh god. The Skinner?
Crispin Glover. That's who I'm thinking of.
Surely doesn't look like that now still, right?
No, I look up current Crispin Glover. Oh, he's like 60, so maybe that wouldn't work, but
Colin Hanks.
Ooh, Colin Hanks could work. Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
But he looks like that now, I guess.
Okay, I think that would still work.
Yeah, because he's been like creepy stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
He's got a creepy aura.
I think he was in like Charlie's Angels, and he was like obsessed with cutting people's hair off and smelling it. And so,
okay, yeah, I think he's a good pick.
Yeah, that works.
Weird.
Anyway,
what else do we got? Daniel, you familiar with Hellboy?
Yeah, the dude that we read today or this week.
Yep. There is a Hellboy universe book coming out with Michael Avon Oeming on it. Writer Chris Robertson. It's going to be The Shadow of the Golden Crane. It's going to be a 4-issue series that focuses on a mysterious BRPD case that forces Agent Su Zhang to dive into the history of secret Golden Crane Society. So it's going to have Hellboy on there. BPRD. What did I say? Okay. BRPD?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. BPRD. I even read it and I fucking flipped it in my head. But yeah, Michael Avon Oeming drawing some Hellboy, doing some BPRD shit. That sounds great. That comes out January. So pretty far.
Nice.
Actually, not even really. That's crazy.
Kind of far.
Kind of far.
That's next year, dude.
Next year, dude.
You're telling me
that's
now?
That's like a year from now.
You need to tell me a week before it comes out.
Yeah.
Nathan, you like Iron Man?
I do not really, actually.
The new Iron Man book coming October 23rd from Spencer Ackerman and Julius Ota.
Yeah, they did a trailer. That's how you know they're really investing in a comic. Do you know who Spencer Ackerman is?
A journalist, I guess?
He's a journalist with a focus on surveillance and national security. He's published several books and won a Pulitzer.
Yeah.
A fucking Pulitzer. That's crazy. So he's writing comics now. Fuck yeah.
Nah, it's pretty cool. I feel like I've seen his name before.
Probably when you're watching the Pulitzer Awards?
No, like in comics.
Spencer Ackerman. That does sound familiar. I think he's definitely done comics before, right?
Yeah, honestly, when I saw that trailer, I'm like, this looks cheesy as fuck. Like when it moved.
Iron Man. Oh,
when it's like a motion comic or whatever. I'm like, this doesn't make me want the comic.
I've never been sold off of the trailer of a comic, other than the fact that like I can tell that they have a confidence in this comic, at least, you know.
Yeah.
Spencer Ackerman comics. Let's see. Some Wildstorm. Waller versus Wildstorm, which was a DC Black Label book that came out not too long ago. So pretty cool. Daniel, Batman Day, September 21st, which is tomorrow if you're listening to this on the day that this comes out.
Yeah.
What are they doing for Batman Day, Daniel? They're pretty much everything we already knew about.
I don't know. I remember there was a really sick Batman Day where if you went to like different stores in the mall and you bought like Batman stuff, they would give you something. Like it'd be like a little prize or something, but sometimes it was like variants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of like Batman the Dark Knight or something.
That's cool.
And I got like a bunch of them.
I always feel like I wake up and then I look online and they're like, oh my God, it's Batman Day. Everybody look at Batman.
Yeah.
And so like this is like one of the first times where I'm like, okay, it's like this Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, but we know that the debut issue of the last Halloween will be available, is what they're saying. So I think it'll come out like the Wednesday of Batman Day.
Okay.
There's a noir edition of the Batman Elmer Fudd Tom King book. So it's going to be like a black and white thing, I think.
This is just at comic shops?
Yeah, comic shops.
Okay.
They're going to publish a deluxe edition of Batman The Long Halloween. So I guess a new one. And then there's going to be a Joker the World. It's going to be like Batman the World, where Batman's in different countries, but it's going to be the Joker.
Didn't that come out already?
I think it did, but it'll be there too. That's what DC's promoting. So kind of like not a lot that they're really doing for it this year. But
so just reprints.
They're like, hey, this stuff is going to be out,
kind of stuff,
you know, and then reprints. So
I think you should definitely have, stuff in stock, and I think this is a pretty minimal way to do it, but you should probably have it to where you're like rewarded from buying like the most recent Batman issue or something.
I agree.
Or maybe like a free issue of like Batman. It's like maybe the first issue of like this last arc or something.
Yeah.
Or of Zdarsky's run, you know.
It does make sense.
Get
us in the marketing team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Also, the final comic work of Alan Moore called The Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic. It's going to be Alan Moore and Steve Moore. They're not related. I looked it up. And it's going to be like an anthology thing, 6 tales, 352 pages. So,
yikes.
That's a lot. But it's his last thing, and I won't pick it up. But if you like Alan Moore, then you should.
Yeah.
You'll probably like it.
When does that come out?
Comes out, it says Final Rakoff is already over, so it'll be in like the next 3 months. Probably.
Okay. Did you pre-order Absolute Batman?
No. I probably should though, huh?
Yeah, I just did it today.
I should have done that.
The cutoff.
Have you seen those Dan Panosian covers?
Yes.
He did like a Wonder Woman one that was like really sick, and he just did a Batman one.
You know, Dan Panosian, I saw it.
Panosian or something.
Panosian, I think.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and he does like so much cross hatching that like Batman just looks like kind of furry.
I didn't notice that, but I'll just take a look back at it.
When you look back at it, you'll be like, oh shit.
Oh, furry Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably just go with the Nick Dragotta one for the Batman one, but I really liked his Wonder Woman one.
Dude, the fucking Ian Bertram variant is like a ratio variant, like 25-1.
And you're gonna get it?
I don't know, dude. Do I have to buy 25 copies? That
Yes.
seems excessive. I don't have 25 of anything.
Dude, I picked up a Berserker 1 in 10 variant that was like $10, but Sophie wanted it. And it had Berserker with the girl from Something Is Killing the Children on it. And she was like, I like this girl. And I'm like, you don't even know who that is. And I bought it for her anyway. That's how down bad I am for my fiance.
That's
I paid $10
Jessica
for that.
Slaughter or whatever.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I don't even know. But she's like, I like this one.
Be like, no, put that back. I'll get you Something Is Killing the Children right now.
That is $10. You know? So
that's a whole trade nowadays.
Yeah,
for some stuff. Barely news, but there's a trailer for a new show on HBO called The Franchise.
Yes.
And it's a comedy about making a superhero movie.
We'll see how that goes.
I think that could be fun.
It could be really funny because of how prominent that is.
Conceptually, I think it's cool. I think it's got Nimesh Patel.
Okay.
Who I like a lot.
I think there's like 90% chance that it's like a little too cringe, but if they really nail it and are like, you know, pretty smart with it, I think it'll be really entertaining.
It's got the girl who plays Stormfront in it, I think. I saw a glimpse of her.
Oh, okay.
And you remember the dude who did like the dollar joke in like Game Night?
Game Night, yeah. He's funny.
He's in that.
Oh, okay, nice.
I think he's like the Chris Evans of the universe.
Oh, that sounds funny, actually. Okay.
So,
all right. Maybe like 85% chances.
Yeah, I'll check it out. It comes out October 6th.
Yeah, so sounds fun.
Pretty soon.
You know the Massive Verse, which is like the Radiant Black thing? They're coming out with a card game.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
You're gonna have people like Radiant Black, Inferno Girl Red as a card. The Dead Lucky, good name. And the game,
whoever buys this is not taking it to a party because they don't have friends.
Yeah, exactly. And the game is getting a 2v2 card expansion.
Wow.
So pretty cool. Yeah, whatever. I was thinking like it would be kind of cool if there was like because Magic the Gathering, as I've been playing it a little bit more, it like licenses so much shit. There's like Fallout Magic cards, there's like Transformers, there's Assassin's Creed, and like each expansion has like its own like little mechanic that only is for those things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like there could be like just a superhero one. It just licenses like random superhero genres that are like independent. So there could be like an Omni-Man card or against like a Homelander card type thing, or, you know, just random, you know, you know.
That's called Mortal Kombat, Nathan.
Kind of, but it's like a card game. Essentially that idea, but like different properties, but like in a card game format. I don't like card games
because like whenever there's like a new one, it's always just like too similar to like another one. Like, oh, this is like
they're all just kind of
this is like
Magic.
Monopoly, but it's Star Wars or whatever.
That's different.
Or this is like basically just shoots and ladders, but it's.
I think it can be good. I really enjoy the Star Wars Unlimited card game. I think it's really creative.
Right.
So, I don't know. I've just been playing more card games though because I'm a big nerd.
Yeah.
But that's everything I got.
Nathan, have you heard of the comic book called Crossed?
Is it a basketball comic book?
No, it's a great name, bro.
That sounds familiar. What is it?
It's a book published by Avatar Comics, and it was written by Garth Ennis back in the day.
Okay.
And it was just picked up for a movie deal.
Cool.
Or the option was purchased or whatever. I heard about this from the First Issue Club podcast.
Okay.
And
shout out.
One of them has like read Crossed, and he's like, this is the book I tell people not to read. Because it's just like so insanely like, crass and just like brutal.
That man.
He said it makes the boys look like Sesame Street. And so I'm like, I feel like it feels like it'd be like torture porn kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, what else does Garth Ennis have that's his that he could sell, you know?
He did Preacher already.
Yeah, he did Preacher already. Now you did The Boys. Everything else has felt like it's been just Punisher or whatever. But I'm probably missing a big one. Interesting. I guess we'll see if that gets me into something.
Yeah.
You said a movie or a movie deal? Interesting.
So
we'll see.
Anyway, what book did we read this week, Nathan?
We read Hellboy, The Crooked Man by Mike Mignola, and who did the writing. He did not do the art because the art was by
Richard Corben. Did you just read these 3 issues?
I did.
Okay.
Did you? Well, we
colors by Dave Stewart.
Yes, the goat.
Letters by Clem Robbins.
And we bought the trade that's The Crooked Man and The Return of Effie Kolb.
Yeah.
Did you read the back end of that as well?
Yeah.
I skimmed through it, and it was like a different art style.
That art's by Zach Howard.
Zach Howard, yeah. Yeah, I flipped through it, and I was like, does this look like something that's pretty cool? But I ultimately didn't. I had other comics I wanted to read. But, dude, this fucking rules.
You like it?
It's like exactly what Hellboy has always been in my head, but I've never read.
That's very accurate. Yeah,
it's like it just fucking really cool supernatural shit going on. Hellboy's just kind of like, oh, I guess I'll help, like the whole time.
He's just in an area and then shit goes to shit.
He's like, I guess if there's like demons, here, I could probably help with that because of the way I look, and it's awesome. And I wasn't sure I was gonna feel reading like a non-Mike Mignola drawn Hellboy, but Richard Corben does a really fucking good job.
Yeah, it's like
he's got his own style that's like
it's definitely inspired by Mignola, but like sure. I think it works really well for this story.
Yeah, and you can tell that the pacing is still very like Mignola because there's a lot of like silent panels where it's just like looking at Hellboy's like face, and like very shaded stuff as well. I don't know if that's just Richard Corben style as well, but
yeah,
he's really cool. I feel like Richard Corben's got the kind of style that would be like in an Alan Moore book or something like that.
Oh yeah, like some indie thing.
Yeah,
it works really well for Hellboy. I don't know if it translates to everything, and
I just love how much Hellboy pops because of like Dave Stewart's colors. I think
that's something he's just red as fuck. Yeah,
just in red.
General.
Everyone else is like pretty muted, and then it's like boom, Hellboy. Like he's just right there.
In case you forgot what fucking book you're reading.
I always fucking love that, dude. Like Dave Stewart knows what his knew the assignment.
Yeah.
So I thought this was awesome. What do you think? Pretty cool too?
Yeah, pretty cool. I guess I might have had like high expectations because I think this is like a Eisner Award winning story arc or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Or some sort of award. It's just like one of those ones that is always like talked about when you're talking about like the best Hellboy stories and whatnot. And so I don't think it was quite like blew me away, but I think this gives you what you want if you were just picking up Hellboy stuff, like you were saying. And
yeah, I think it's
there's a lot of cool like lore that I don't know if it's like a specific kind of lore,
or if it's like new to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
Just like the elements that were used, I thought were really fun.
I had a good time. Yeah, just kind of being along for the ride and being like, oh, this is some weird witch stuff, or like I always like when I don't know, supernatural stuff can be really, really hit or miss for me because it'll be like, just like not very interesting sometimes. But I like what they do here where they're like, oh, there's this thing called a witch ball, and here's how you make a witch ball, and this is what it does, And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, this is just like a weird rule to this universe that exists, and like this guy knows about it, luckily, and he could tell us all about it, And I like shit like that where it's like they introduce something cool. It has like a very distinct visual style and like reason for why it's like that, in the story. And I think, he nails that really well. Just the supernatural elements of this that are either new or not.
Yeah.
So I fuck with it. But what were you expecting it to be, you think? Because I think it is an 80-page story, so it does move kind of quick.
I think I was thinking it was going to be something that has like a big twist or something, or is just going to be like a super fantastical like ending.
Yeah.
I think the Hellboy movies kind of ruin like kind of my like I guess my expectations and like the bar for what Hellboy comics are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like there's one that is just if there's some that are just better than the movies altogether.
Yeah,
because those just kind of came at a time where I'm like, this is fucking crazy in my life,
Yeah, because a lot of Hellboy movie stuff is very world-ending stakes,
right? And so I think that's more of what I was expecting, but I also never really like world-ending stuff anyway.
Yeah, I was kind of craving something like smaller than that for sure, like someone that's just a random dude that like needs some help and happens to cross paths with Hellboy. which is what this is, and I enjoy that aspect of it. I like that it's not like, oh, if Hellboy doesn't do this and step in, then the devil's going to come out and the world's going to explode, you know?
Yeah, it's
I like that shit. It's very like noir, supernatural noir, which I think is
definitely
cool.
Really shows a lot of character for Hellboy, because this dude could have split at any time.
Yeah, he was just like hanging around because
he's like, I should probably just stay here.
I get that. He's like, I want to see how this ends, you know?
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So it's 1958. We're in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia. Hellboy's trying to help out a local woman with another unconscious woman that they think is witched, and that person must have been witched from somebody named Cora Fisher, and they think that Cora Fisher did it because this local woman saw Cora Fisher and the lady on the ground fighting earlier. So it's like, it must be her. A dude named Tom Farrell comes in.
Probably not Farrell.
Probably
Farrell.
Farrell? Yeah, probably Farrell. So Tom Farrell shows up and he finds a witch ball and he's showing it to Hellboy, and he's like, this is a witch ball. And so this is what's going on.
Looks like a sea urchin.
Yeah. Broken.
Stepped on me. He danced on me.
This guy was dancing on me. Dude, I saw.
Did you see that today?
No, not today, but I rewatched Surf's Up while we were on the plane a couple weeks ago, and I was fucking dying at that part, dude.
No, I saw a clip of a person who stepped on a sea urchin and it was stuck in their foot, and it was that audio.
Dude, I saw a tattoo of that sea urchin, and it was like the broken thing. I was like, that's kind of hard.
That's so sick.
That's funny. But anyway, a witch ball looks like a sea urchin kind of deal, and he's like, I've seen this before, here's what you do. And he's like explaining to these people like, okay, burn the witch ball and then boil her clothes and then she should be good. And I just like that there's like that, like, I like thinking about Mike Mignola being like, okay, how are they supposed to fix this? You know, like what are the rules to like fixing witch balls or whatever?
I love the pacing of this, because the first page is like an establishing shot.
Yeah.
The second page is what's going on. Third page, some stranger walks in.
And he's like, what's up?
I know what's going on exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm locked in. I don't care how Hellboy fucking found them or what he was doing before this.
Right.
I just know that he's in the middle of the situation right now. And this is what I love. It's just like weird, mysterious situations that unravel like supernatural concepts that are interesting. And so I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in. Hellboy looks great as well. I mean, I think trying to mimic a Mignola style while also keeping it your own can be really tough, and I think Richard Corben definitely nails it.
Feels impossible.
Yeah, because like he's got he's nailed like the mouth of it.
Yeah,
but I also get the sense that Richard Corben's style, he like makes people's faces like really long, and he does that for Hellboy as well, and it like works out. So really fucking cool. He does great.
They have like a conversation, Tom and Hellboy. And he's like, yeah, I've heard of you. And then Hellboy's like, I'm not the devil. And he's like, the devil? Yeah, I've seen him. I know. He's not. He ain't you.
He looks nothing like you.
Yeah. And I was like, that's such a hard line.
That is such a good fucking line.
He's like, I've seen the devil.
He's like, doesn't elaborate. You know, he does later, but just at that moment.
Wait a fucking minute.
Yeah. Like, how do you guys manage to cross paths?
I'm a bitch with the backstory, you know?
Yeah. So Tom and Hellboy, they're going to find Cora Fisher, and Tom is told that his mom is dead and that his dad left town because he's been away from town for like 20 years. And as Tom and Hellboy travel into the forest, Tom tells Hellboy about being gone and how the two are like vaguely familiar with each other. Like Hellboy's heard of Tom and Tom like has heard of Hellboy, or has like seen Hellboy at some point in his life. So they get to Cora's cabin. They find several witch balls there. There's like a bug in a bottle, and we see Hellboy finds an empty human skin on the bed. And so they're like, well, I guess we'll just wait for Cora to come back.
She was never the same since she started smoking pot.
Is that what they say?
No, but you remember those like... Those like commercials?
Those truth commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It was just like a girl like...
Dude, it does look like that. There's a couple things I love just about this sequence, but I think it's really funny when Hellboy like finds a skin and he's like, what do you think about this?
He's like picking up her leg.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
And then there's just like saggy titties.
He's like pretty unbothered about it.
You see that and you think like, oh, they're coming back.
Yeah.
They left this here.
Yeah, they like knew like, oh, okay, we'll just wait, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's something so great about how unbothered Hellboy is. He's just like, I don't know, what do you make of this? You know, what should we do? Kind of deal. It's so funny. So while they're waiting, Tom explains kind of his backstory about the time he saw the devil, which was when he was 15. And there's a girl named Effie Kolb who convinced Tom to become a witch himself. and he made a pact with the Crooked Man, who is like a dead local man who serves the devil. And then Tom kept a lucky cat bone from his time being a witch, which he thinks helped to protect him while he was serving in the army.
Yeah, I like this like bone lore stuff. Yeah, because I guess he had to like find a dead cat or something, and then like boil its bones, and
he's like, first one you pick up, that's your bone.
He's got to pick a bone, and he like goes through all of them, and like whenever the devil shows up when he is holding a bone, that's his lucky bone. That's your bone, yeah. I'm like, this is fucking weird.
I know, like I love that shit where it's like, what concepts can we think of, and like how can we make them vaguely make sense? And it just like, it's just creative.
Yeah.
The Crooked Man looks fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
So they did a good job there. Like you always see like his gums out and his eyes are looking in different directions.
If only that movie had the budget to get like Willem Dafoe to do this, I think it could go so hard.
He'd be such a good Crooked Man. He's got such a big smile.
He'd be the best Crooked Man.
Best Crooked Man. Wow. And then I sent you this panel, but there's a panel on here that I want to talk about in the sequence where Tom is like running away from the Crooked Man as a kid, and he sees like a frog on his like doorstep, but he's like, I know that's a demon. And like it's so funny because
he'd sent it.
Yeah, he said it. It's like it's this frog, and it's just like looking normal, and like the lettering's just like burp. And it's so funny because like you don't know if that guy's gonna jump at you or attack you. Like I think Mignola's like a little afraid of frogs because frogs come up like a fair amount in this book actually.
I just remember this one time.
No, there's others. I'll point them out.
Oh, okay. Keep an eye
out. But yeah, you don't know what this frog's thinking. You think that's the devil? Could. I do.
I don't think so.
I think he is.
Did you say that his lucky bone, like protected him in like war?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. That's like, he was just like a super lucky soldier.
It's like he thinks it does, but he could like, if he ever uses it, then he's like still a witch, or he like still becomes a witch. Yeah, I guess he just like kept it on him.
He can like pull it out and use it for something, I guess.
But yeah, it is interesting to think that like, okay, this has been
in the background
cursed
of his life
in some way that it's like protected him.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And so in the present, Tom and Hellboy see a raccoon crawl into Cora Fisher's skin, which chains back into Cora. And then Tom asks why she became a witch, and Cora explains that after her husband and kids died, she got desperate and sought help, which led her on the path to becoming a witch. And then Effie Kolb, who's the witch from Tom's past, shows up on a horse, saying that the Crooked Man wants Cora and Tom back. And then that witch flies away, and the horse turns into Tom's like dad, who's like super old, and then he dies in front of Tom. And this is like, I hope to God there's like weird what the fuck moments like this in the movie, because this is such a wild sequence that's like creepy, and it also like raises the stakes of the whole thing, because like you're bringing like Tom's dad into this, and he's like dying in front of him, and he's like, well, now I gotta fucking, now he's got some skin in the game.
Because it's like such a short book, and you have to like stretch that to be like a movie length, and the movie's named after this specific story. I feel like they're gonna try and do like everything that's in this.
I would love that.
Hopefully it's like bar for bar kind of thing.
If it is bar for bar, I think that's good, because this is like pretty good movie length stuff, I would say.
Yeah,
it's got a pretty clear 3-act kind of structure, I would say.
Sure. 3-issue structure.
3-issue structure. Exactly. But even if they extrapolate on it, or don't even like have the same characters, whatever, as long as they have the energy that like a sequence like this has, where it's like, here's a fucking witch, oh, they can fly now, I guess. Here's a horse, turns into his dad, and he dies, and it's like, what the fuck was that? So I really enjoy that sequence. So Tom, Hellboy, and Cora start heading up the mountain to bury Tom's dead dad at the church. They approach some coal mines that are full of Melungian witches, and they keep going until the witches start calling out Cora's name from the mines, causing Cora to burst into a bunch of insects, snakes, and frogs, Daniel. And they swarm Hellboy.
Yeah, they like explode out of her.
Yeah, like the witches are like affecting Cora in some way, and these are like creepy fucking witches too. Like we don't even see the mines, but we know that the witches are like under them in some way. And they're like really fucking creepy, like mole people. And when Cora like just explodes, it's like this really visceral kind of thing. She like puffs up before she like explodes into all the insects and centipedes and shit. And like, look at this frog.
There's like a horde of frogs attacking Tom.
Look at this frog, dude.
Whoa.
That's a scary looking frog.
I get that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see.
I understand the phobia.
Yeah. So this is just wild. And the frogs make it actual horror, so I appreciate that. And then there's like a cool dream sequence that I think is pretty cool because it has like muted colors. Like even Hellboy is like a little bit muted and you see some weird shit going on. So pretty cool. But Tom uses his lucky bone to free them from the swarm, which he says is not good because whenever he uses it, then he's like activating some witch shit. But Effie Kolb appears to say that the Crooked Man now owns Tom. And Hellboy shoots Effie and then she disappears.
Yeah, he's like, shut up.
He just says shut up and shoots. That is good Hellboy shit right there.
Yeah.
Like that whole page is just like Effie in a distance. She's saying some weird shit and Hellboy's just had enough. I love that. So they get to the church.
And this is like a forest where like it like changes whenever you walk through it. Like it's not like consistent. Like a map couldn't get you through this forest. If
Did someone drew
one. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they say that in The Return of Effie Kolb.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
because like, Hellboy like needs Tom to like get to the church and stuff like that and get to the bottom of all this.
Can you imagine carrying a grown-ass man's corpse up a mountain?
And it's your dad?
And it's your dad? I mean, that sucks too, but like that would just be so heavy.
That too, yeah.
Dude, I went hiking once with my buddies and they brought their dog, Olive. And she like stepped on something and it really hurt her foot. And there was like a mile to get back to the car. Maybe even more. It was like a 20 minutes walk to get to that point, essentially. And so we were carrying Olive and we were taking turns carrying this like 30-pound dog. And like my biceps were so fucking pumped. And it got to the point where we were like passing it off. And like the pass offs would happen at like smaller and smaller like time frames. So I'd just be able to carry Olive for like a fucking minute and then be like, okay, you take Olive now. And then Parker would carry him and then Ben would carry him. And it was just like we were going back and forth. Yeah. So I can't even imagine a man that's like 100, probably 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And only Tom was carrying him. Hellboy offers and he's like, and Tom's like, no, this is my burden to bear. And I'm like, dude, I don't think that's physically possible for you to go all the way up there.
And the other thing about this forest is like when you're in it, you're on the devil's time. Which I guess just means it's nighttime all the time. Yeah. Because it's like the morning earlier and then it's like nighttime as soon as they get in here.
Yeah, that was interesting because when the witches attack them, it's like daytime, but when the witches attack, it like turns to nighttime. Yeah. So it's very interesting. So they get to the church. The priest says that the ghost of Cora is there and is like sitting in the church. And Cora told the priest that they were coming. And then a bunch of witches start surrounding the church, but they're like just outside the fence of the church. But they are not able to like touch holy ground, so they're not able to like make it in. Right. And then the Crooked Man appears saying that he's there to collect on Tom's debt. And it's so cool how creepy it is to like see a bunch of witches like walk just right up to the like the fence and just like stare at them while they're in like the church grounds.
Yeah, they're not super creepy. They just kind of look like locals, like a bunch of old ladies.
Yeah, but it, like the idea of it's like these are a bunch of witches. Like, do you remember that scene in Game of Thrones where they're like they were in the north and they were like stuck on this like little rock and there was a bunch of like dead like around them, but the dead couldn't get to them because there's like a bunch of ice that was weak.
Or
that's what this reminds me of.
Or the bit where they're like on the boats, like leaving.
Yeah, that shit too.
And they're just standing at the shore,
like lifeless, like ready to attack at like the first like moment that they can. I think that's creepy. So pretty cool. And then Crooked Man, he like shows up and he's like, "What's up, Tom?" Looking creepy as shit as always. So Hellboy tries stepping in, but the Crooked Man's able to control parts of a fence that fly off and stab Hellboy. And the priest is fed up with all this, and he calls the Crooked Man like by his name, telling him to go to hell. And then the Crooked Man tries to like bribe the priest into giving up Tom by like giving him gold and then like de-aging him 20 years and then like restoring his eyesight, which is crazy. But the priest like he stands on business throughout this whole thing. Yeah. He's like, he
like covers his eyes. He doesn't want to like see.
Yeah, that seems like.
And he like prays really to God to like give his blindness.
Yeah, take his eyesight back. I would fold so fast.
I'd be like, damn.
I'm like, that's a lot of gold. Or like,
that's 2 churches.
If you're de-aged 20 years, I'm like, that's a lot of time. So I'm like, oh, sorry, Tom. You gotta go do what you gotta do.
To be 8 again.
Yeah. That's what I want. I want to be 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting powers that the Crooked Man has apparently, because he's a dude that is like a demon himself pretty much, so it makes sense that he has those powers.
So after Tom's dad turned back from a horse, that was the end of the first issue.
Yeah.
And then there's like a witch ball recipe.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just some cut scene to like a witch telling you like very extensive instructions on how to make a witch ball.
Yeah, recipe for witch ball.
That was the end of issue 2. Mm-hmm. So we're on issue 3 now.
The witch ball is the beginning of issue 3?
That's the end of issue 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like back matter kind of thing.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, the Crooked Man starts to revive the dead bodies that are buried like around the church, and they start attacking, and Hellboy and Tom have to fight them off.
Yeah, did they throw like a whole ass coffin at the church?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, you're right. The panel where the priest is like, he's like saying like, Lord, take my eyes away. I don't want to see any of this, is I think pretty interesting. So the priest figures out that the Crooked Man is mainly after the untapped power of the lucky bone that Tom has. So the priest grabs it and like forces Holy Spirit into the bone, and he marks a cross into a shovel for Hellboy to use as like a weapon against the undead. And then Hellboy, he's fighting through everybody, and then he hits the Crooked Man with it, causing him to like instantly vanish. And then the rest of the witches see this and they start to run away. And dude, hell yeah, what a sick fucking scene that was. Yeah, because he's like squeezing the devil out of it or whatever, and then he marks up a shovel, and like all of a sudden that's a weapon that like works now. I don't know how do priests get taught that kind of stuff in like priest school?
I think it's instinct.
Priest school or preschool, either one. Is it instinct? Yeah. But like even just like the coloring of it, because it's like it's burning like white when he's like marking the cross on it. So really a lot of context there that I think is really cool. And so the next morning, Tom and Hellboy bury Tom's father, and they go to get rid of the cat bone thing. And so they go into the house of the Crooked Man, and they find like a crazy crab demon thing that's there. And so Tom throws like the consecrated holy bone at it, and the demon like disintegrates. He like burns. Then heading back to the church, they find Effie Kolb, who's the church from Tom's past. The witch, sorry. What did I say?
Church.
The church. Yeah, the witch from Tom's past, who's now turned old because the Crooked Man isn't there to keep her young. And so Tom places like the horse harness thing that was on his dad onto her, turning her into a horse. And then they paint "Beware, I am a witch" on the horse's side. And that's how it ends. And it's like, is that how you wrap this up? Like, that's a witch, and you're just like going to leave her there as like a horse, you know?
They got the paint on it so no one takes the reins off or whatever.
If I saw that, I wouldn't know, like, oh, I got to keep the head thing on the horse.
I'd be like, leave that alone.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But if I was like, oh, what a poor horse, you know?
Yeah. So just tagged up this horse.
Yeah. But really, really interesting stuff. So that was pretty much it.
A couple things. Some of like the corpses that were like coming up out of the grave in the church, they like go to attack like Hellboy or whatever, and one like goes up to like the priest and is like, kiss me, and like Hellboy's like punches it and it's like, kiss that.
That's
like,
sick.
I love this.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed with Hellboy is whenever he gets like knocked over, he says oof a lot, and I think that's kind of funny. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't sure what like the Crooked Man wanted, if whether he wanted like Tom's bone or if he wanted Tom dead. That seemed kind of like
the way that they explained it is that he couldn't stand the idea that there's untapped like demonic potential in that like cat bone, and he wanted that back. But he made it seem like he was coming to collect Tom, like the debt of Tom using that magic, you know, and like taking his soul or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like that part I agree was like a little bit shaky, because it just like the motivations of this dude changed like right at the end, and some of the priests like put that together. So I get that.
Right before the priest like draws the cross on the shovel, he's like, I'm gonna bust that evil wide open. And like bust is like bolded.
I'm gonna bust. We should just like scribble out like the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bust. There's a really cool panel where they're like leaving the priest behind to like go to the Crooked Man's house, and then the like spirit of Cora Fisher's there too.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of nice.
So yeah, and
that's pretty much it.
The Crooked Man.
The Crooked Man. So let's go into Back Matter Matters.
Back Matter Matters. So
which I guess is just like the return of Effie Kolb.
Yeah, there's like 2 issues of that, and the art in this is pretty cool. I liked this as well. It's it seemed pretty similar to the old one, the other artist?
I think it was too, I don't know. I was like
dark or like
I don't know what it was about it, but I was like I was like scrolling through it and I was like I don't really want to like look at this like the whole time. I think I was just so stoked about either Mignola or what's this dude's name again?
I don't remember.
Richard Corben. This guy's style is very Anthony Ramos to me, which is a great artist, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna just like read something else.
I was just
Zach Howard is his name.
I was just thinking like
Hellboy looks very gorillas though.
Yeah, there's plenty of stories that aren't drawn by Mike Mignola, and I feel like you should be there for like the story.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of not be so adjusted to Mike's art.
Yeah, that's fair. But tell me about this.
Hellboy returns in 1967, and they show like the
same general area.
Yeah, the town or whatever.
Okay.
They show like the graves of Cora and Charles Farrell, and then also the priest has died at this point.
Oh man,
because it's like 10 years later, I think.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Tom's still there, but he's like super old now. I feel like that's not enough time to pass for him to be old. But
he was like pretty old, I guess. Well, how old is he?
50s or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got the shovel on like his mantle, just in case.
Yeah,
and
I would too.
He's taken in like a young girl named Sarah who was kicked out because her parents think she's a witch. And these issues are kind of cool because they do like little flashbacks to the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
And they'll redraw some panels, which was kind of neat to kind of refresh your memory. And so Effie Kolb is back for some reason. Oh, Sarah thinks something bad's going to happen at like the Crooked Man's house, like the mansion thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so they head towards there. Yeah, Effie Kolb goes back to Tom's house, and then Tom's got his shovel locked and loaded, just ready. Mm-hmm. And she like flees. But there's like some man that pops up that like helps her, And so when they get to the mansion, there's like a doggy there, and there's like a woman.
I like the doggy.
Yeah, who's very goth, wearing like a black dress and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she is like magic somehow, and she can like kind of sense the magic in Sarah and notices like how special she is. The vibes are off to Hellboy, but the lady gives Sarah like a picture and be like, hey, you can come here if you want to realize your true potential or whatever.
Okay.
And it kind of like helps people like in her position. And so they leave, and Sarah's like sucked into the picture somehow. It's like some magic picture.
No, interesting.
But Hellboy like shakes her out of it. The dude that was helping Effie Kolb was, I guess, the brother of this lady.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there to find Effie to, I don't know, revive her, like give her like power or something. But the lady wants to help Sarah more than Effie now.
Okay.
But the brother is like, oh, we're here for Effie. That's like finish what we started kind of thing.
Is he the one that turns her out of being a horse?
I don't know who exactly did that.
Oh, okay.
Hellboy gets attacked by like the dog. Doesn't kill it, which is good.
Okay, good.
It was like a demon dog kind of thing. But the brother does like some sort of ritual thing on like a pentagram with Effie Kolb, and it just turns her into like a big monster thing.
Effie Kolb?
Yeah.
I see that, yeah.
Turns into like some giant monster, and I think ends up killing the brother anyway. And Hellboy and Sarah are just outside of the house, so they're not very far from any of this.
Mm-hmm.
When they go back in the house, the lady, she like turns into like a crow and then just flies away.
That's convenient.
Right. And then Sarah was able to draw like a picture of the shovel. And I guess they can, whenever she draws a picture of something, it can like pop up whenever they need it.
Oh, she's like Harold in the Purple Crayon.
Yeah, exactly. And so when Effie's about to like eat Hellboy just drops the picture like in her stomach, and she like explodes.
Whoa, interesting.
Right.
Man,
and then
I gotta carry a shovel around more, dude.
I guess.
It solves a lot of problems.
And then like in the rubble, Hellboy's not able to find Sarah or anything, but he just returns to Tom's house and tells her what happens. Tom's able to sense that Sarah's like okay and like made it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends with Sarah wanting to getting picked up, like hitchhiking, and it says that she wants to go to New York, which is what the building in the picture is from.
Yeah.
And that's how that
So she's trying to go to that school. the end.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, didn't add too much to the Crooked Man story, but if you wanted to know more, I just flipped through it because it was like another 60 pages or something.
Yeah, it's pretty short, like 2 issues, I think.
Yeah, cool. And then no other back matter.
Yep, no other back matter. I would have liked to see some sketches for the Crooked Man or something like that.
But what is that, like technically like 3 episodes in a row where we don't have like normal back matter?
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, no like sketches or process pages, stuff like that.
It doesn't even feel like a friggin' trade. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I know. We're just reading single issues. We're not the single issue waiters.
Yeah, we're not. We don't have to wait very long for those.
No, fuck.
Comes out weekly.
And
but speaking of single issues, let's go into the pull list. Colin,
shove in your box. The pull list. What did you shove in your box?
Picked up lots of things.
Lots of stuff.
You want to hear about it?
I sure do.
TMNT 2.
Yep.
Lots of T's, and I think it's going to be the Michelangelo issue.
Okay.
So this one has Raphael Albuquerque on it. Pretty excited about that. Last one had Joel Jones, I believe. So
nice.
Which I'm happy. I thought I missed the second issue while we were in Spain, so I'm glad that wasn't the case. So I also picked up Uncanny X-Men #2. That shit's selling because I got there I normally go like during my lunch and there's like pretty much everything there. I went to lunch like 2 hours late and like almost everything was gone. It felt like for X-Men.
Maybe they didn't order that much.
Maybe they didn't order that much. That could be true.
Because it sucks.
Well, there was like a lot of open shelf space right where Uncanny X-Men like was. So I picked up a variant, but it had Gambit on it. So I was pretty happy with that.
There you go.
Transformers #12, Green Lantern #15. And then I picked up Time Waits by Chip Zdarsky. Written by Chip Zdarsky and the David brothers with art by Marcus To and Matt Wilson.
Yeah, David Brothers does like the manga explaining podcast with Chip.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He's like a editor at like Viz.
Oh, sweet. I had no idea this was coming out, but I'm a simple man. If I see Chips,
we talked about it.
I pick it up. I know I did, but I forgot about it. So
did you get Wolverine #1?
I saw it, but I didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
There's also like a second printing of X-Force, and I took a double take. I picked it up for a second. I was like, maybe I should get this, and then I just put it back down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's also The Domain #3, the public domain spinoff book.
Yep. #3 already. Wow.
Yeah. You didn't get Into the Unbeing #4?
No, because I haven't read the second issue yet.
Okay. What about Precious Metal #4?
It wasn't on the shelf, so I gotta hunt those down in a different way.
Yeah.
I just order them online.
It's a bummer that I feel like that's not really being like talked about.
Yeah, because the first one fucking blew me away.
Right.
And I do want to like read it.
Yeah.
As it's coming out, but I want to read it like the actual issues themselves. So hopefully you're able to pick them up.
Yeah, hopefully everyone's got solid stock of it.
Mm-hmm. I saw that there was like a Little Bird trade on like a display table. Because like at my shop, there's like a trade display table where they'll just like swap out different trades and stuff.
Sure.
And there's a Little Bird one, which is like the prequel to Precious Metal.
Yeah.
Or is the regular show in Precious Metal is like the prequel to that, I think.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll have to check that out at some point.
Yeah. Did you read anything?
Yes, I did. Daniel, there's so many fucking good comics out right now that I'm picking up because I just have the sickest taste.
Okay.
Let me tell you about a book that's not very good that I read at #1 of.
Okay.
Marvel Zombies, Decay, and I'm Groot, or whatever it's called.
State of Decay?
No, that's the video game. I think it's like Decay and also the Hulk is here, like something like that. Which is like the Marvel Zombies books that are, but like it's from the perspective of Groot and the Hulk.
Yeah.
It was the first issue of it, and it's not for me. I think it's for like a somewhat younger audience. But the like voice of the characters is like a little bit weird and kind of uncharacteristic even. Like Captain America was like getting mad at Groot for like just like random things.
Yeah, no one gets mad at Groot.
Yeah, or like Captain America doesn't really get that mad. He's always like pretty stoic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or like Iron Man was like making like really weird jokes where he was put in a situation where he didn't know what to say, and like that was like the joke kind of deal, I guess. But I don't know. Something about it wasn't very cool, or wasn't like really hitting with me. And then the zombies themselves, that's also like a big part of it, right? They're not like actually zombies. The pandemic or whatever started because Groot like sneezed on Steve Rogers, and he like for some reason the mucus turned him into a zombie, and he's like patient zero, and like he like starts to eat other
Groot's
people.
Like a carrier.
Yeah, and then like he's
a dirty tree.
Yeah, so I don't like. I'm sure it'll be explained like why like the congestion in Groot was what turned people into zombies, but they're not even like really zombies. They're more like the Last of Us creatures almost.
Oh, interesting.
So I guess like that concept's kind of interesting, but I wasn't like super convinced by this first issue, so I won't be picking it up.
For sure.
But let me talk about the good shit I read.
Okay.
Plastic Man.
Ooh.
So fucking good. I like didn't really have high expectations because like the last Plastic Man thing I read, I was like, this is fun, but it's like whatever.
Yeah.
This nailed it.
Nice.
I forget the name of the artist, but he feels more like cartoony.
Okay.
Or like cartoonist like, and so he's got like really fun like Plastic Man, you know, stretchy panels, and like they're really focused on like Plastic Man at like an emotional level as well, and then he's also like the butt of a joke at like the Justice League a lot of the time, and it's just like really good, and the whole situation I think is really fun. And I think if like every other issue of the series is even half as good as this issue 1, it's still going to be like one of the best things that DC comes out with this year.
Wow.
It was awesome. So
nice.
I was like, they nailed this for sure.
That's good.
It's pretty bold, I would say. So I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty happy about that. And then I read Zatanna, Bring Down the House, I think is what it's called. Number 3.
Dude, did you get the A cover on that?
Yeah.
Why does she have those like cannons on her?
She's got some cannons.
I was like, hold on. She's like upside down. I'm like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah, dude.
I like looked it up for the pull list for another week, and I was like, what is this book? What is they're reading? Names me some smut.
It's like, it almost looks like it. Like,
does she have some bazookas in the book?
She got some honkers, I would say. Not really, actually. She's wearing like a magician like suit type thing, but it's like sleeveless like
she normally does.
I guess so. This book fucking rules. I was gonna bring the first issue to like force you to read it, but I forgot today. Because like the first issue is phenomenal, the second issue is also really good, but it lost like a little bit of steam for me, and this third issue is like the best one.
Wow.
And there's actually a joke in there that actually made me laugh out loud, which like never happens.
Yeah, that's rare, and you wouldn't suspect in the Zatanna book.
No, I wouldn't. And so it just like, I think the nature of it catching me off guard is what made me laugh about it, because it was like during this like crazy double page spread, and so I was just kind of like basking over like Javier Rodriguez, I think is the artist's name on it. And I was like, wow, this guy fucking rules. It was like one that I showed Sophie. I was like, look how trippy this is. She's like, wow. And then I read that joke and I laughed out loud. So I'm really enjoying that book.
Nice.
Big vouch if you've heard about it. I'd say pick it up. And then I read Ultimate X-Men number 6 or something. And it's starting to come together, which is cool.
Oh, okay.
I just realized that the main character in that book is an existing X-Men already. I thought it was like this new power or something that she's like created.
Yeah.
But the character is like in my Marvel Snap deck. And I like didn't make that connection until like right now. I'm like 5 issues in and I'm like, oh, this is Armor. Like that's the name of the X-Men is Armor.
Okay.
And so pretty cool.
Nice.
That book is still really strong. Like Peach Momoko, I'll probably like read. I'll probably at least check out everything she does like going forward.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like that kind of storytelling capability. And I also learned something because like at the end of each issue, there's back matter. And she's like teaching like certain Japanese like traditions and stuff like that she like explains are part of the book. She's like, so like when this character does this is what that means kind of deal in like Japan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Nice.
I like that book. What'd you read?
I read Aliens versus Avengers.
Oh, nice.
Number 1.
Nice.
Pretty neat.
Pretty different than probably what you thought, right?
Yeah. Really good setup. Yeah, and then like at the end, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It is very interesting.
And so that's good. Looks incredible, of course.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
I saw Ribic. He's got it.
Yeah, he's goated. And then I read Black Hammer Reborn.
Nice.
Which is like the third like maxi series in like the Black Hammer universe. So it's like the third one of these.
Oh, cool.
You know, so it's
not a prequel or anything.
Just as big as these. It is like a sequel kind of thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. It just fell over.
It scared the fuck out of me.
Probably not important.
But yeah, so it's one of those things you have to read Black Hammer and Black Hammer Age of Doom to understand what's going on in Black Hammer Reborn.
Okay.
It's all about Black Hammer's daughter.
Yeah.
Lucy Weber.
Sounds right.
Is it Lucy? I don't know. I read this whole thing. I'm like, what's her name? But it's like, and it's like on par with like those other maxi series, which I was like super impressed by.
Cool.
Yeah, a great book. You would like shit yourself with some of the stuff that happens in this.
I should catch up on Black Hammer.
There was like a moment in this, and I'm like, Nathan would absolutely love this. You know, it's like maybe one of the cooler things that happened in the Black Hammer universe.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, you should definitely catch up, because every time I read Black Hammer shit, I'm like, this shit's the best. I love it.
Yeah.
And like, I always like, I don't know, sometimes I'm not getting to it right away, but I'm almost like completely caught up with the universe. And so, but every time I'm into it, I'm like, this shit is so good. I don't know why I wait so long. You know?
I should catch up, because I think I've only read the first library edition.
Yeah.
And then some of the like random spin-off stuff that I just really enjoy. Yeah. But yeah, anytime I'm reading Black Hammer, it's like one of the only series where I'm reading it, I'm like, this is fucking comics right here, right? You know, like,
right, yeah.
Like they just pinnacle of like comics storytelling, you know?
Yeah, and I'm glad like it's not like over. You know, there's just one miniseries that I have left. It's like Black Hammer: The End, and then Black Hammer: Spiral City comes out in November. And so just reading this stuff gets me just more excited. Well, that's going to be the last
one, isn't it? Spiral City, or no?
No, I think the end was what we thought was the end, but then Spiral City is just it's the next thing chronologically, and they just continue into like the universe. It's only solicitations for the first 2 issues, so I don't know if Spiral City is going to be 12 or 6 or what. But
that's good.
So I'm really excited, because I'll be pretty bummed when it's like done.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be done. So hopefully it'll never end.
Hopefully never.
So everyone should catch up, because
I agree.
I want to keep going.
We watched Beetlejuice.
We shared Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Nathan. 2 of them.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them in this movie.
I was a little buzzed. So I was like forgetting a lot of stuff that's happening.
Yeah, same.
So I went on my phone, my notes app, to like take notes about what we're doing. I wasn't bothering anyone behind me or anything, because like they have this big wall in the theater we were in.
Yeah, it was huge.
And when I was like taking notes, Sarah thought I was like recording like the movie.
She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's
like,
funny.
I have a podcast. It'd just be so funny if
I like that you had the foresight while you were buzzed to be like, I need to write this down.
Yeah. Because there's like a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But it'd be so funny if like, you know how they have like cameras in the theater that record the audience?
Yeah.
What if like a manager like came up, like, sir, are you recording this? And like, no, I have a podcast. I'm taking notes right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It would just be like so embarrassing to do that in real life.
It would be. But I've always thought about like bringing like a little notepad and just like writing in the dark.
Right.
And like hopefully like when I leave, there's some shit in here that I could like see.
I think that's what like journalists and like actual reviewers do.
Probably. I mean, that's a smart thing to do.
Right.
I saw this like TikTok couple that would like go see a movie and they bring like a little pocket-sized notepad and they write shit down and then they go get dinner after and talk about it. And I'm like, that's the life.
Yeah.
These people made it. But anyway, Beetlejuice.
I had a great time with this.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I'm not even necessarily like a big fan of like the first Beetlejuice. Like I think it's fun, but I don't have any nostalgia or anything necessarily for it.
Yeah, we saw it as adults.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, that was fun. But they like nailed the vibe of that again.
Bringing back the vibe is very important.
I think that like rematch that vibe for like a modern era is pretty tough. And
especially
Tim Burton,
36 years later.
Yeah, Tim Burton's fucking got it. Michael Keaton still got it. Danny Elfman has still got it.
Yeah,
because that guy is
cool
the
to
goat.
have him back.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that he was like the one that scored the,
I was like, let's
movie,
go, baby.
I'm like, yeah, this is impossible to fuck up. So
I think I liked this movie more, like, because it didn't suck.
Yeah,
you know, I was like worried it could suck.
I was also worried it could,
but
suck.
it didn't. I'm like, oh, this is so great that it doesn't suck. You know?
Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, because there's still like a good blend of practical effects stuff, stop motion stuff at some points.
They even like
was very
did
awkward,
CGI, but the CGI was just trying to make it look practical. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I
cool.
dig that.
There's like, it's like there's very Tim Burton shit in here. Like like when the house is like has like a black drape over the entire thing. I'm like, who else would Tim Burton?
There's like a character that was like chopped up. Like the villain or whatever, and like she gets put back together, but she like staples herself back together.
I love that.
I'm like, this is the most Tim Burton shit ever.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome.
It's just basically the fucking girl from Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, except instead of like
that's actually
being
very
sewn
true.
together, it's just staples.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked Jenna Ortega's character in this. She was really good. Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara are also really great in this, I feel like.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to explain like how Beetlejuice like survived the last one, because they made it seem like that sandy area was like a purgatory kind of thing, or like just a place where you'd vanish because he got eaten by like the worm thing at the end of that one.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is
there going to be like a Boba Fett moment?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That is interesting. I was trying to remember what happened with Beetlejuice at the end of the movie, because I'm not super big on, I guess, Beetlejuice lore. So when he was back, I'm just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Something I did think was interesting is that apparently he has about the same amount of screen time in this movie as he does in the first Beetlejuice.
Like 17 minutes?
I guess. But it feels like way more than that in this movie.
I figured it might have been, I think it would have been cool if they like try to do that same thing to have that kind of that same effect. But I feel like with a legacy sequel like this, you got to have just way more of that main character. Well, like twice as much Beetlejuice.
It feels like there's twice as much,
minutes.
But apparently there's about the same screen time. I think there's just more scenes with Beetlejuice in that scene, but not necessarily on the screen.
He's like Godzilla. Like there's always like 8 minutes of Godzilla in every movie or whatever.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Even in
it's like always
Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, it's always like about 8 minutes.
No way.
Look it up, dude.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like 50 minutes of Godzilla, I feel like, in Godzilla Kong.
You think?
Really?
Yeah, there's probably way more. True. There's way more Kong than Godzilla. Way more Kong.
Yeah, he's like taking showers and stuff. So, but yeah, I think that is just a testament to like how well Tim Burton can do this shit, because it's like there's only 17 minutes of this guy, but it feels like he's all throughout the movie. So
it just makes like his appearances like stronger when it is so limited like that.
Yeah.
And it's
he looks
like,
the fucking same too, Beetlejuice. I mean, I know they like
he looks older. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, it's just you just like see it. I just saw the old one, so it's been like definitely different.
Okay,
but yeah, with makeup and stuff, it doesn't seem like a lot of time has passed.
Yeah, I love like the right after you die and you go to like this like DMV type place and you like take a number and you see like how people died.
Yeah,
I think that's just hilarious, because there's that guy with like a bunch of hot dogs stuffed in his mouth, and I'm like, that's the way to go.
Is that Joey Chestnut?
Yeah, died doing what he loved.
I think that's like my favorite part.
Yeah,
of like
it's just really
this
funny
universe thing, because it's just like
so silly.
No one knows what's going on.
Yeah,
and things like that.
And then they found like an in-universe way to kill that one actor who is a pedophile, which I think is funny.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was wild.
That because like not only did they like kill him, it also like was like a big part of like the plot.
Yeah,
to like bring them together back to that house, and they had like his likeness in like
totally
in an claymation thing. And his picture was on like his gravestone and shit. So it's like kind of weird.
So like he like made money off of this, presumably, I would assume.
Probably not, but
probably not. You think?
Maybe.
I think you have to pay someone for their likeness if you're gonna have them in the movie.
Maybe, I don't know.
So I don't know. But I mean, it's good that he's like out of the movie. He's like he's not in the movie. I mean, he's
like,
in jail, I think.
Like,
but
that character was like talking and had like lines and stuff. You know?
So yeah, I think it's very interesting. Because like they could have just been like, yeah, he died. That's crazy. You know? Yeah. But they made it like, oh, that's why everybody's getting back together, kind of deal. So it's
right.
It's interesting.
So a little bizarre. He's like attacked by a shark, right?
Uh-huh.
And did you notice that like his tombstone was like a fin?
No, I didn't.
It was like a shape of a fin. I'm like, this is crazy.
That is so disrespectful. Whoever picked that out, who had to think like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if it was like a fin, right?
Yeah. They found a way to fit Danny DeVito into this.
That was crazy.
I was like, is that him? I thought they weren't going to show his face, but they totally did.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a very stubby man with a bald top of his head.
Yeah.
Is that Danny DeVito? Which makes sense. I mean, he's in one of Tim Burton's movies, so.
Two. He's in Dumbo.
He is?
Yeah.
Have I told you about why I can never see that movie, Dumbo?
Why you?
Yeah.
You have a phobia of big ears.
No. I don't.
It's one of Tim Burton's later movies and you don't like them.
No, I don't care about that either. That was a movie I was going to see with Sophia on our first date, and then we skipped it because I liked her and I wanted to keep talking to her.
Wow.
And I feel like if I see that movie, my whole world's just gonna explode or something.
Yeah, you'll break up.
Yeah, like we'll just break up. So even if it's like on at like,
I don't think people like that movie, so I don't think you're missing anything.
I know, I got lucky that like the movie sucks in general. But imagine like this is like the biggest movie of all time, and I'm like, fuck, I can't see it. You know.
What would be like the worst movie for you to like skip because of like a relationship?
Recently?
Yeah,
dude. Like Avengers or something probably, but like modern movie, probably like Dune.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you skip Dune, and therefore you had to skip Dune
like,
2.
And I have to explain to people why I can't see Dune.
and I keep telling you how
it's
good
for my relationship.
Is. Yeah. But yeah, this one had like a great plot as well. That was something I liked about the first one, is that it was just like a plot that was odd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
And there's like a kid that is like kind of like a love interest for, what's her name?
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. And what was funny about that is like that seemed like it was kind of like the main issue, but it seemed like it resolved pretty fast.
Yeah. And we found out like what was going on with him, and then they just like fixed it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
And Beetlejuice was like, he like did it, and he like, it was like a trapdoor kind of like situation. And he says like, later fucker. And then like, I'm like, whoa, what is this movie rated? I just didn't expect a fucker in this. Yeah. And it was really funny.
Is it Disney? What is this?
I think it's owned by Disney.
Yeah. That's funny. I think you could have like 2 F words.
I think you have like 1 or something.
Yeah, but that's sick. I love when there's a fucker in PG-13.
Willem Dafoe is in this.
Yeah.
And I liked the way his character looked, but then the more I thought about it, like he could have been like cut completely, and I think the movie still works. Like he didn't seem
that's
like,
a good point.
He didn't really seem like he added that much, but I still love seeing him, you know?
I like that they put practical effects for his look, but it like didn't look very good.
Yeah, it wasn't like convincing.
No, yeah, that wasn't. It's still fun, and he like his vibe definitely fits like a Beetlejuice movie. I'd say, but yeah, I think you're right. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, he could be completely cut.
Right. There's a lot of musical sequences in this.
Yeah.
The first time it was like funny, and it was like short, where like Michael Keaton's like lip syncing some song, but then there's like a big music sequence at like the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, like this. I like kind of want this to be over.
I kind of thought the same. Well, like there's just a lot going on at that point too.
Yeah. And it was just like odd, and I would have like ended it differently. But the thing about the ending is like it ended like the same as like the first one.
Yeah.
With like a wedding, and then the bad guy is like eaten by a sandworm.
Yeah. And it's like, are we gonna do this for the next one?
And I'm like, okay, yeah,
because it seems like they're gearing up for a third one. I would say
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I hope it's called that, because that's so annoying.
It's just like Beetlejuice cubed.
Threedlejuice.
Yeah, there's 3s on all the E's.
Yeah.
This is the 330th one.
Yeah. I mean, did you like that very like last scene? They're very clearly like trying to set something up, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was. I guess.
Pretty strange.
There was a bit where I can't remember how it happened, but Beetlejuice like opens a door to the real world, and then some of his little like henchmen like get out into the real world. And I thought this movie was going to end with like all of the undead just back in the world.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And they're somehow going to like suck them back up and close the hole. But that was resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They just patched it up somehow.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I was like,
I want to know the hot dog guy's story. You know, where's he go?
It's pretty, yeah. And then it ends with like a nightmare that the mom has, where like Jenna Ortega like gets married to this like AI looking dude. Did you see him? Like, remember she gets like married or whatever?
I remember she get like married. Was that a dream sequence?
Yeah.
Oh, I forget.
Because then she's also pregnant.
Yeah.
And gives birth to like a baby Beetlejuice.
Baby juice.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, there's like a lot of blood in that scene too.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, the baby's like crawling up the wall and shit, and I'm like, okay, I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Some sort of foreshadowing, at least.
Because she has to marry Beetlejuice to, help Jenna Ortega. But I think there's something about the contract that made it void or whatever. So she wasn't actually. But then like she has this nightmare and she wakes up and then Beetlejuice is in bed with her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's a dream inside of a dream.
Well, I think Staple Lady didn't get a whole lot of play in this for her being set up. So I think pretty importantly, or like with such emphasis on how she was set up. So I think there's going to be a third one where she like comes back and is like, I still want to marry you, Beetlejuice.
Probably.
Or remarry her. Because they used to be married, I think. But
so there was like everyone like had like a problem in this that had to be solved. And so like it felt like you could have either focused on like the
big one
kid,
or
focus on like the Morticia Addams lady or whatever.
Yeah.
but they just had both, and they were both just kind of resolved pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, really good stuff.
Yeah, I had a great time. I knew that it was probably going to be good, but I still tried to like temper my expectations, and I had a great time.
Oh, I love the twist
good flick.
of the kid though. Like we didn't really say that.
Oh yeah.
Because like we thought he was real, but he was not. He was a ghost, and he was actually a serial killer who killed his parents.
And like that's cool concept.
And
I had when they revealed that, I'm like, whoa! But like a couple people we went with had called that.
Yeah, Sarah like whispered it to me. She's like, they're all fucking dead.
They made it like pretty obvious once people were like explaining it to me, like why that was obvious.
They didn't like show the parents' faces. I'm like, they're not important.
But also, he had like the Book of the Dead, I guess.
But like, I think, well, no, because in the first one, the stylist or whatever, he like he was able to pick it up and like look at it. And stuff.
So I don't know. There's Beetlejuice lore that I'm not familiar with, but
yeah, there's like plenty that's like not explained.
Yeah,
you know, and so you just kind of like roll with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, good movie.
Good movie.
Nathan, we're gonna read next week. What are we gonna read next week?
We're gonna read Venom's coming out.
It sure is. Venom, October 25th.
Yeah, Venom: The Last Dance, and so we are gonna read Agent Venom.
Yeah, it's not like called Agent Venom,
but like that's the Venom we're reading is Agent Venom.
Yeah, it's by Rick Remender. Came out in 2011.
Mm-hmm,
Art by Tony Moore and Tom Fowler.
Yeah,
which is neat.
Yep. So pretty cool. Very interesting era of Venom. So I mean, we've done some other Venom stuff. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, I've always been interested in the Agent Venom stuff, and so
same.
It'd be cool. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. Email in, tell us your favorite Hellboy story.
Yeah, what's some good shit? Because I've only read this as good shit. Is what I consider. I don't know where else to look. So
tradewaiterspod@gmail.com. Link in the bio. Like, comment, subscribe, stuff like that.
Exactly.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
Bye.